The final round of the PSGL F4 Championship here in season 27. We're here in Japan for what will be hopefully another exciting race. The championship is already decided, and we've got a bit of a change up in terms of commentary tonight, as Jake will be doing F1 comms tonight at 8 p.m. I am joined by Alpha, and I'm very glad I'm joined by him. And yeah, hello and welcome.
Hello, I'm pleasure to be here. Obviously, I've done Singapore in this division with Jake, but you had to miss it, so.
Yeah, so you are, not entirely new to this division, but just to keep you up to date, I don't know if you are, or just to update the viewers as well. The championship is already decided. We've got our championship, in the Drivers' Championship at least, we've got our champion as Ryan. In the Mercedes, who is switching onto no line, I think, tonight. And yeah, Luke and Diamond are still fighting it out for P2 in the championship. But the constructor standings are not decided yet. We've got Cohen and Luke in the Alfa Romeo currently leading by 8 points ahead of Ryan and Ghosts and the Mercedes. Ghosts is not here tonight, but we've got both Alfa Romeo drivers, so it's going to be difficult for Ryan. But yeah, I just hope that the drivers will go full out, full throttle, show the world what they're made of in the last race, because they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I want to see a nice battle between, obviously, Ryan and the Alfa Romeo for the constructors. Jordan's probably sleeping. Slept in again. So, that's why he probably isn't here.
Yeah, it's
I want to see some battles in Slack.
And yeah, just to update you as well, we've got Thyman, who was reserve driver for the majority of the season. He's only just got his actual full-time seat last week when we headed to Singapore, but when we headed to Abu Dhabi, sorry. But he did race quite often in this division, but still to be in the fight for second in the championship as just a reserve, and he missed 3 rounds, I think. It should be 3 or 4 rounds. And yeah, he missed 4 rounds actually. He missed 4 rounds, and he missed Italy. He was there, but the entire grid was full, so he couldn't even join. So yeah, I think the biggest battle we should look out for tonight is obviously the constructors' battle between Mercedes and Alfa Romeo, and the fight between Thyman and Luke. And Luke hasn't won a race so far this season, but maybe today could be the day where he gets his first and then final win of the season.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's kind of good that the championship is already decided now, at least for you, so you don't have to do the maths in your head and try and get into the championship fight. Yeah, exactly. I'll try and do the calculation stuff for the Constructors' Championship, but I think it's going to be a tough time for Ryan, because doing a 1v2 on the F1 games, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
But
we pretty much have to win line, and they would have to not be in. One of them has to get a podium, the other one has to not finish in the points for them to win it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. Not easy at all, and we haven't got a first time of the session so far because Maxwell hasn't validated his lap in the final chicane. Cohen has invalidated as well. But there's a Red Bull of Jan coming across the line, and that's the first time of the session with a 125.7, because this goes a bit faster, 125.6. So we've seen a couple of solid bankers here now. Simply only goes third fastest, quite far off pole at the minute, and Kush slots in between them, going into third at the moment. But yeah, like Japan, obviously you as a driver as well, you know quite a lot about the tracks as well, I reckon. And just like, what are your thoughts on Japan? Is it one of your favorites, or would you rather skip it on the actual calendar?
I love it and hate it. Some of it I hate because I bottled the win here last game. Some people I know, and you know. And then what is it? I love it sometimes when I actually do well.
Yeah, well, I find that...
It's like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I find that Japan is a really tricky track to nail. I think it's a lot of fun to drive if you get it right, and if you find the rhythm, it's a very nice and smooth track, and you can really get a satisfying lap together if you just nail the racing line. But if you're just slightly off the racing line, you're going to have a really tough time around here. And just a very warm welcome back to you by the drivers. If you would just take a look at the top three, they are only separated by 0.02 of a second, which is actually not that special for this division. It's been quite close over the entirety of the season.
Yeah. Right now I'm just watching Simon on his lap.
Simon's definitely a contender for pole here tonight. Again, I reckon. Simon has been so quick and so consistent over the last few races. I mean, 2 wins within the last 2 races. That's a very, very good record. And I'm sure he wants to get that second place in the championship. He would have only got 6th though. But if you look at the gap, it's only a single tenth in between him and pole position. And in this division, it just puts you so low, and suddenly it's sick. But I can tell you that last week, Simon was so close to taking it to Japan. Mathematically, he could have still won it. But then on the final lap, I think it was Maxwell McCrew, one of the Hasses, took the fastest lap away from him. And that put him behind by 18 points then. And obviously the maximum amount of points to gain from a PSGL race is 17 with the win and fastest lap. But yeah, 18 is not possible for the drivers. So Ryan has already got it. And I'm sure Ryan, after he was very careful in the last couple of races because of the championship, he will go flat out here tonight.
Yeah, obviously Ryan will want that two titles beside his name at the drivers and constructors, but it's looking less likely the longer his teammates not here.
Yeah, especially with Luke sitting in provisional pole right now. And Cohen crossing the line of the first sector now with a 30.8. I think that's a solid time. And that was close to an invalidation through Degnatur here. Like, one of the things in Japan I think that are very tricky to know are Degner's 1 and 2 and Spoon, like the long sweeping double corners, like with the 2 separate braking zones, at least in around Spoon. But obviously Degner 1 is flat for the drivers if you get the right line usually. Degner 2 isn't, it's a lot slower, so very tricky to know that, and very easy to just make a slight mistake, go out wide and completely ruin your lap or even your race.
It's definitely the Degner, the very complicated corner, is also a spoon, because if you touch that corner on spoon wrong or touch that inside curb coming out of spoon, your car's not going to feel nice. But definitely a hard track to perfect on here, but it's a fun track to drive.
Yeah, I think we all remember that Sebastian Vettel incident he had in 2018. A painful memory for me as a Sebastian Vettel fan and as a German. Hurts me in my pride a little bit, but I just don't want to think about that. The Ferrari times are over now. New chapter.
Yes. Aston Martin.
And
the ball times.
Yeah, I'm very excited now for the next couple of weeks because of the combination of real life and PSGL as well. Obviously it takes a bit in between the seasons now. It's going to be the final season on this F1 game when we head into season 28 then. And around that time the real life Formula 1 season starts as well, which probably isn't going to be as exciting as PSGL, if I'm honest. I'm pretty sure Hamilton will just dominate once again.
Yeah, it'll be a lot closer, because as McLaren's got Mercedes engine now, Aston Martin will still be quick, but Mercedes are going to, I think Mercedes will maybe take the fight to Red Bull next season.
Yeah, I really hope that F1 just gets a lot closer, and people are expecting quite a lot from the 2022 rule changes, which obviously should have come this year already, but due to the pandemic we've got, it's been postponed to 2022 then. But we'll have to wait and see if that actually changes something. Let's see what McCrew does here. Goes up into P7. But yeah, 2021 has also brought a couple of rule changes, if I'm not completely mistaken.
Yeah, I think I think they've done, what is it? The rear of the car, the rear suspension's been taken off, so the rear tyres are pretty much stuck to the actual car. But as Luke's has gone and done a 25 size, and he's now just gone a tenth and a bit quicker, so looking like Luke might have pole.
Luke looking very strong around here, but Jan comes into the final corner. Let's see if it's going to be an improvement for him. That looked like a very nice and tidy final chicane. It's very easy to completely ruin your lap through there, but there goes Jan into second. A bit more than a tenth down, but my goodness, that is so close once again. And I absolutely love that.
And Kush
there
just goes quicker than...
Wow.
Ferrari dominance. Ferrari's coming back. It's not a 2018 though.
Yeah, on the game at least. But wasn't Japan actually the last track where Ferrari's got a pole position?
I think.
Wasn't it double pole in 2019?
I think it was.
Well, I'm not sure. I remember that I woke up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to watch quali, and then woke up at 7 or 6 again to then watch the race, because I remember quali was postponed because of the horrendous weather conditions they had on Saturday. And then I remember that Vettel didn't get a penalty for jumping the start, which I still don't get to this day. Don't know how the rules work on the start.
It should have been the drive first.
Yeah, like on the game, it's pretty simple. If you just go, if your car moves before the lights are out, you get a pen, and I think that's what should be the case in real life. But in real life, they've got like all those sensors and stuff, and I think that's a whole lot of BS. I don't want to say the actual word on stream now, but
look how close it is. It's less than a second between all of the people on this grid. It's like line with his lap in tenth.
That is just so brilliant in this division. I'm gonna miss that when I'm heading into F3 next season with Jake once again. But yeah, I love how close it was over the entirety of the season.
Yeah.
In most of the sessions in F4. I'm sure you've noticed in when they raced in Singapore as well.
Yeah, it was close, was it? I would love to do F4 next season, but I don't know what deal I'm doing for comms. So I'm probably going to choose F4 or F9. Because F9 I love, F4 I've done the race, but we don't know yet.
I think the other announcements will come soon. I hope so, at least.
Yeah.
And what just happened there?
I think it's Max ran out of fuel.
Max ran out of fuel, alright. I thought it was lag. A bit of a miscalculation then from the Haas driver. Weird to see. Usually you just see the drivers going up for one lap, and that's kryptonite and validating. That's not what he wants. Let's see what Ryan does. Ryan is not on an actual flying lap. I'm sure he made a mistake or something somewhere around his lap and then abandoned because he's in non-ERS mode. Trying to get a good line out of the last corner. Oh no, he doesn't. Pit straight away. Yeah, probably with the timing, you definitely want to have the best possible track conditions. Try and do your lap as late as possible. Let's see what Cohen does. Needs to speed up if he wants to get another lap after this one in. Runs out of ERS to get Maja out of the last corner and goes on to provisional pole.
Yeah.
Good lap there.
1-3 for the Alfa Romeo, so it's looking strong for the constructor standings for them at the moment.
Currently they're playing it very well, very safe, but you can never take the quali results for granted. There are some drivers that are just a lot better in the race, and there are drivers that are a lot better in quali. So we'll have to wait and see for that. For example, yesterday in F7, Bryn qualified, I believe, 6th, and in the end in the race he was absolutely quick and got second, and the only one who was anywhere close, Morgan. And yeah, I'm sure we could see something similar here today.
Yeah. Obviously F9 wasn't, it was close, but was it? I think the pole was like a 25.6, but it was close. I was from second to about 9th, or like 14th, so it was like about 4 tenths, 5 tenths. But then pulled about 3 tenths ahead of second.
It's just, I gotta say, the Atmans have done a really good job. Have done a really good job in terms of the placement this season. I feel like a lot of the divisions have become very, very close in terms of the gaps in quali and in the races. And yeah, that's definitely what we want in the end. I kind of doubt that Cohen's going to get a lap in. He's only just on his way into the pit lane, and it's going to take some time for the team to push him in. I don't think he'll get another lap in, and that's going to hurt his chances for pole.
But look, coming his teammate, right now in P3, just coming through Casio Triangle to start his lap.
Oh,
now he's coming in the pits.
Okay. That's odd.
Maybe he thinks he's done a good enough lap for pole, but Lars Simon is about to start his final run of qualifying.
Let's see, there he is. Coming into turns 1 and 2. Stays in 4th, up into 5th on the exit. Nice line through there. And through here, I think you need a really good setup that you're really comfortable with to actually know what the car is going to do and how the car is going to react to certain steering inputs you give in. And first sector is nearly 1.5 tenth improvement. Slightly misses the apex on Degner too, though. That's going to hurt him a little bit. But currently up on his time, so let's see if he can improve. And just a small improvement by maybe even just a tenth could bring him way up the field. And yeah, Lucas retired. Cohen's back out on the track. I kind of doubt that Cohen's going to get a lap in, though. He's only just coming into the S section now.
But Luke, well, not on Simon, put purple sector 1, but I think it was just purple on his sector, like 2.5 tenths up now.
Well, that could bring him well up the order. Let's see if he gets a good run through the final chicane. Could have maximised the first part of the chicane there a little bit more maybe, but he comes across the line with a 125.6, not even 2 tenths down, and it's still not even good enough for the top 8. That just shows how close this grid is, and it's just lovely to see. But I'm excited what Kush can do now. I think he's the main contender for pole now.
Who's 2 tenths up though? That's going to put him up at the field as well.
Let's see, now we're about to get the final couple of laps in. Who's that? Haas? Is that Maxwell? No, it's McCrew. McCrew comes across the line, goes 5th fastest. Let's see where Kryptonite goes, coming around the final corner as well. He's nearly a 10th up, only 7th for the moment. Then we've got the other Haas of Maxwell. He could be a contender for pole as well, as he's slightly up on his time. Is it enough though? Yes it is. By 5 thousandths of a second he takes provisional pole. We've got Simply coming through the final corner now, and he's going to improve, but not enough. And where does Kush go? Kush comes across the line. Will he take pole? No, he won't.
Simon and Vardating with a 10th up as well.
And I think that should be it. Only if Jan pulls out an absolute miracle now. I think Maxwell should have got it, but look how close it is. The top 5, all within a single 10th of a second. That's brilliant to see.
Jan's not going to do it. He's only 300 up.
Let's see. Maybe he can just gain that little bit more. Locks up the inside front, though. I think he tried to do too much. Yeah. And that's the curve.
Over. Just a sizzle. So Maxwell will be the pole setter for today.
Yeah, really good lap from him. 25.478 in the end. 5 thousandths ahead of Cohen. And I think Cohen's going to be just that little bit frustrated that he slightly misjudged the timing. And Luca's going to be disappointed that he, I think he was on a lap and then made a mistake and maybe got front wing damage, and that's why he had to pit. But that's your qualifying in the end, and the top 5 not even separated by an entire 10th, and that just summarizes the entire season. I mean, just look at the gap in between P1 and P10. It's just slightly more than 2 tenths, and that's just incredible. I love that.
Yeah, so it's really close. Like like the top 8 and 9 are split, like the top 10 are split within 2 tenths, and the whole grid's only within 6 tenths, so like, it's gonna be close.
Brilliant to see, absolutely brilliant to see, and I love the amount of effort those guys are putting in just to be at the top level of their own capabilities, and that's the result of it, having such a close qualifying, and that's the result of a good placement, a good tier placement as well. I hope it stays like that for next season, because I think that the Atmans have done a really good job this season by placing the drivers in their correct divisions, and I think we've seen quite a lot of close championship fights, at least at some point through the season, and it looks quite overcast. I think we might see some rain at some point.
Yeah, it looks like it might rain, but we don't know yet.
That's actually a feature I would wish for 2021. That the commentators are also able to see the actual weather forecast, because like in real life, obviously the commentators have got a weather forecast as well. But I'm missing that feature quite a lot, because now we have absolutely no idea if the skies are clearing up, if the clouds are gonna go away, or if it's gonna rain at some point in this race. No, I don't need to have the exact point in time when the weather's, or when it's gonna rain, but I would actually like to have like a small prediction that it's just gonna rain in general or not. And I love the fact that it still says fastest lap, because it's a thank you game. And let's look at the tyre choices, and yeah, as expected, all the guys outside the top 10 starting on the mediums, trying to do the opposite strategy. But I think that might suggest that it's not gonna rain.
I think everyone would be on soft if it was gonna rain. But Jordan, I thought he would, obviously LR Ghost, thought he would join during quali, but he must be a heavy sleeper, because he's making his teammate gonna have to put the constructors on his back now.
Yeah, he's leaving his teammate a bit behind at the moment.
And pretty much Ryan will have to play for 1990, or I forgot which year it was, when Prost and Senna hit each other here.
No, I can't remember either. I'm not like the best in terms of dates around that point in time, but now we see the predicted pit stop strategy, which is quite a hoax, because it's just an easy one stop soft medium, or medium soft.
Yeah.
So but I think the undercut could be quite powerful around here, but it could also prove like a disadvantage if you then get stuck in traffic, because overtaking is just not that easy around this track.
Yeah, it's hard, but you never know. People will probably be, like at the end, wanting to move up positions to go in it for anyway. You can definitely turn one, the first part of the S, if you on the outside, because then you get the inside for the second part. But it's very hard around here, and obviously the long straight coming into 130R as well as the main overtaking spot.
Tom Jewell has said in the chat, Felix and Ross equals gold.
Oh no. Oh no, not Tom.
Well, gotta say, thank you for all the 15 viewers. Gotta say, the amount of viewers in this entirety of the season has been quite solid. 17 now. Yeah. We had some parts where we had like 25 viewers, which is pretty good for F4 standards, gotta say.
Yeah, it's a lot more than F9 gets. F9 get like 8.
As we are waiting for the lights to come on, and I think this time we won't even have a glitch, as the lights are coming on now for the final race of the season. We're up to 5 red lights. And we are off here in Japan for the final round. Looks like a good start from the Ferrari in third. Kush is already challenging Cohen coming down into turn 1. He's going for the outside line, and he's got P2 right now. It looks like Luke has held his position, and now he's even challenging P1, and he's gone side by side with Max for coming into turn 3, and he gets the move done, and already has moved up into P1 after starting in P3. A brilliant start from the Ferrari driver, and Max has to concede the position after slightly going wide through turn 2.
Yeah, look, Kush had a brilliant start. He got past going, and then what is it? Max just coming out of turn 2, ran a bit wide, and Kush went, "I'm having this T1. See you later."
That was a brilliant move we've seen there by Kush, and he's got a mission for tonight. It looks like he wants to win this race, and that was a move down the inside from Kazizelon. The Renault slightly loses the rear end, pushes the Renault wide. That gives Jan the chance to move past him as well, and yes, Jan has got up one position, and it looks like Fairhan might even go past now as well as they go side by side coming towards Spoon. That might end in tears, but it doesn't. Luckily, both drivers give each other enough room and enough respect to not crash through there. We've seen a Ferrari crashing through there already in 2018, but we've already
one flashbacks.
Yeah, kind of got some flashbacks there.
But definitely, Ferran will want to get past the Renault driver, and obviously Max will want to get that lead back. But he felt like he wanted to take the lead into after the first lap, but it's not worked.
And now we've got a timing
glitch. Exactly.
Brilliant. Absolutely no idea who's in which position, but I gotta say, it didn't even look like a bad start from Max, but I think he might just have gone a little bit wide through turn 2 then, which opened up the door for Kush, who's had a brilliant start. And Kush saw the gap, he saw the door was open, and he just took the opportunity and went for a great move, and that's what you can do in the final round, because there's not much to lose here tonight, so the drivers are just going to go for it.
I think the grid order is now fixed. Yes, it has.
That's good. That's good to see.
Reynolds have a Boylord pit. Another 5-second time penalty, so he has to go to the end on hard.
No, that's not good. But Hearts will make it from here, don't they? Don't they last like the entirety of the race? Yeah.
But they get because they'll be dead.
And Fairness trying to get past Kryptonite here. Kryptonite seems to be struggling on his set of softs in comparison to Fairhan, who's on mediums. Ryan has held position on lap 1, but Simon has dropped down quite well, I think.
Yeah, I think he had maybe a little mistake. So I saw him drop down in the S, and I think he just had a little bit of back end slip. But luckily, no one got damaged. Everyone's still going.
Looks like there is a bit of a gap in between Max and the Alfa Romeos now, which I think Max is going to be very happy about, because he probably wants to get that lead back instead of looking behind him, try and stay ahead of the Alfa Romeos, but currently it looks very comfortable for those two guys to win the championship in the constructors. And I just hope that the drivers will actually go for moves they usually maybe wouldn't, just to be a bit more careful. But tonight there's not much to lose, and you could just go for some moves, like not dive from someone from 300 meters back obviously, but just maybe go for some moves where you usually would think about twice.
Yeah, like if you went, like obviously going into you could probably go for it on spin if you wanted to. Like obviously Max will want to do it anyway just to get that lead back, because he wants to win right at the end of the season. Maybe obviously a lot of people will want moves. Simon will probably want to do well as he's fighting for second. They'll want to make some moves up. But right now, looks like Kush and Max are running away with it right now.
Yeah, and Kush is just about not being able to get Max out of that 1 second window. Jan is pretty close to the rear of Kazizel now. I think he could go a bit faster. Kush sets the fastest lap of the race. Good time there. And I think Jan is just a little bit too far away. And I feel like Fairhan is not finding a way past Kryptonite here. Remember, he's on the mediums. Kryptonite is even out of the DRS zone. DRS window, sorry. Of Jan ahead. So it seems like Kryptonite is struggling quite a lot so far, and Fairhan is doing a really good job. But he's probably a bit frustrated just because he can't get past.
Yeah, obviously people are getting definitely Fairhan will want to get past Krypton so much, because he looks definitely quicker. But a lot of people are going to be frustrated, as like Jan as well behind him. Zizzle has been behind him a little bit now, so he'll be getting frustrated. So will maybe look behind his teammate. McClure might be getting a bit frustrated. Max will definitely be, because he was leading and he's just behind now, so he'll want to try to get that lead back. But Kush has used a lot of his DRS. He's on 20%.
Crypto, Jake has just said in the chat, what's with the dislike? I think we're not very popular. We've got 1 like and 5 dislikes.
Yeah.
Not a good statistic there, but it looks like Lucas.
Guarantee you one of them's Tom.
Lucas pretty close to the rear end of Cohen right now. I wonder if there's going to be some team orders here. So it looks like Lucas got a bit more pace in the car than Cohen has, and yes, it looks like it's going to be a very easy pass. Yeah, team orders being used in the final round of the season. Why wouldn't they? So
yeah,
Tom is once again asking why 5 likes now, Felix. Need to refresh the stream now.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah, 5 likes. Oh, there's now someone's disliked it. Come on.
Ah, how rude! How rude! People are not supporting us. I should probably stop the stream.
Oh wow, Tom's gonna dislike. That's why there's 6. Tom didn't actually dislike till then. That's why. Come on, Tom.
That is rude. The thing I've noticed right now is that the gaps are barely any of the gaps are over a second to the driver ahead, but people are still struggling to pass just because it's such a big DRS train, and obviously with the straights being so short and the overtaking opportunities being limited, it's quite difficult to get past. Tom is once again asking why I'm not racing in IRL. Tom, I can't do IRL because I can't do those times. Like, I can't do Saturdays, and I've been racing on Saturdays, so I can't.
Oh.
That's your answer. I didn't want to say it on stream, but I've been spammed.
Love you guys. Yep. But CRTGO just put in the chat, big love you guys.
That's sweet. That's sweet to say. And yeah, Jake, you're right. Kush is quite surprising in this race. I didn't have him on my radar, to be honest, for tonight. But that's what we had quite often throughout the season. I mean, Kush has got 1 podium, but apart from that, hasn't really scored regularly. But yeah, today it just looks very good for him. But he's still under pressure from Max.
Tom just asked what about Wednesday.
Tom, I'm not going to discuss me joining any leagues right now, as Boywood has retired in the pits. That hopefully won't trigger a safety car.
I don't think it will.
And
Tom, stop talking about IRL.
And it's looking like it's clearing up a little bit. I saw the sun coming out just then. And I've got a bold prediction in the chat. McCrue's going to win. Currently in 5th, but you know, anything could happen. But it looks like rain is not going to have an impact on this race, and we have seen that Max is coming more and more closely towards the rear end of that Ferrari, and he's right in his nose.
He legally can't. Now he can. He's going to get past.
Yeah, and he's going to use it. That looked like a fairly easy move. I think Kush didn't really want to defend that all too heavily.
So obviously McClure's now going to be stuck behind Cohen, so he's going to be kicking himself. He'll be like, I want to get past Cohen now, so he decides to fight.
But I feel like the Alfa Romeos might be working together a little bit. That you know, Luke keeps Cohen in his DRS window, so he won't, Cohen won't get passed that easily by McClure. But I feel like McClure's got a lot more pace than Cohen at the minute. Cohen looked a lot quicker than in quali than he is in the race at the moment, but maybe that changes in the second stint. Maybe he's just not comfortable with the heavy car and the soft tyres on them. But Fairhan, I still feel kind of sorry for Fairhan. He's been stuck behind Kryptonite for so long now, and he's got really good pace considering he's on the medium. But
yeah, definitely,
he just doesn't find a way past.
Yeah. But Jake put in the chat, which F4 drivers do you think will be in F3 next season, Felix?
I definitely reckon Ryan. So with Diamond, I think. Not sure about Luke. I think Luke wasn't like the quickest driver over the entirety of the season, but it was just his consistency. So I think he might even stay in F4. But I definitely think that Diamond and Ryan are going to move up. Ryan is trying to go no line. Obviously, he's a bit slower today because of racing with no line, but I could see both of them moving up to F3. I'm not sure about Luke. Luke could also move up, but I think his pace is really suitable for F4. And I think the good results in the championship in the end is mostly due to his consistency he's at, because he hasn't won a single race this season, but he's just been super consistent, and that's why he's still second in the championship. And currently it looks like he's going to keep that spot, because Diamond is not looking that quick around here.
Tom's not just speaking in German. IRL, I don't want to say it, I'm not German, but in the chat, he's saying some German.
Yeah, Jake. Max, yeah, the thing about Max is that he has been quick at different occasions this season, but I feel like he's not been consistent enough. His pace was really good, but at some races, he was just lacking too much pace. And speaking of pace, Luke has picked up his pace and has caught up to the top two, and is now within that 1 second window of 2 guys ahead. Oh yeah, he's used quite a lot. And Kush just got a pen, yeah.
So that's going to be Kush maybe out of the chances at a podium now.
Let's see what McCrew does here though. He's really close to the rear end of Cohen, doesn't go for it just yet. He didn't even enable his overtake mode. Cohen might have gone a bit wide through here. Can't find it.
He'll go for the undercut.
That's an early stop, but he can make it. He should make it, yeah. But I think we're going to see the most pit stops on this lap. But I think for Luke, with the pace he's had, I think it would have been smarter for him to make the pit stop 1 lap ago. So on lap 8, just try the undercut, because it's just so difficult to pass on the track. And obviously he's going to get the spot from Kush if he just stays within that 3 second window. If he doesn't get a pen, obviously. But still, I think it's a nicer feeling if you are just, you know, actually ahead of the car that you want to beat on track.
Obviously you want to be ahead of the guy you want to be fighting, so look, if Kush hasn't put Luke will probably put for that undercut to try and get past him, but like Kush has just got no this. Like if Luke went for the move, Kush won't have any to defend with. You can see like Max pits, so does Kush. Cohen stays out. Not Cohen, Luke stays out. Cohen goes in.
Luke stays out. Okay, maybe, you know what I'm thinking, maybe Luke has seen that his pace on the softs is still pretty solid compared to the others, and maybe he's gambling on Max and Kush being stuck in traffic now, but I kind of doubt that's going to happen because there's no traffic around them. The only driver that could pass them maybe is Kazizel, but he's not going to be... Nope, he's not going to pass them. Kazizel is going to be ahead of Cohen though. So the undercut has worked.
Kazizel's got a massive jump, so Kazizel's going to be looking pretty quick at the moment. So, but what is it?
Ooh, and Lucas made a huge mistake through Degner too. He's even clipped.
He's got a pen.
He's even clipped the gravel trap on the outside.
Yeah, but finally, as we were talking about Farhan now has clean air.
Now he can show what he's made of. After being stuck behind another driver for 9 laps. And that's so frustrating. I bet you know that as well as a driver.
Yeah, obviously. In a lot of like PSGL races, you just want to get past someone. Like in Japan in F10, I had no penalties and I was looking like I was going to get a 4th, but then I got a penalty like at the end. But I think I got 10th spot or 9th spot. Like I just want to get past them as quick as I could, but it wasn't worth it. So. But I think, crew pits, so does Jan, and now Farhan will be leading.
Yeah, let's see if Luke's overcut has worked. I kind of doubt it, to be honest, and he might even get held up. No, he doesn't. Let's see where Max is in comparison to him. Could be close.
Jump by Max.
No.
So
easily.
Sizzle's gonna come out in P3. Oh, P4 actually. Oh, and look, oh, Cohen's just flied by now. Cohen's got the position back. Simon's jumped McClure.
Yeah, the undercut is a lot more powerful than the overcut around here. And look at how far Luke is behind Kush now, 1.8 seconds. He was within a second before the pit stops.
But Farhan's definitely be happy now that he's got nowhere ahead of him and he's leading the race.
I wonder what happened to Kryptonite, because he's just put in the chat, my willy is absolutely tiny.
I'm guessing you can understand what Tom's saying as well, because I don't know how to read German.
Yeah, but I'm just not going to comment on it again.
What, is he asking why you're not racing, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Clifton said another thing.
Oh my goodness. I feel like someone's just gone on his account. I thought, like, for the first message, I actually thought that Kryptonite might have made a mistake, and that was like, you know, him making fun of himself. But let's see what McCrew does here, and he tries to get past Thyman, and yes, he does. Goes back past him then. Good move. Went very easily. Yeah, someone's definitely on Kryptonite's account.
Yeah. Who's going to be on it? Connor?
Maybe.
Connor, is it you?
No, it's not me. I'm streaming, so.
I know. It's probably one of his mates or something. It'd be maybe Connor, one of the CRT person. It wouldn't be Wilson. Well, Brian's got a penalty. Obviously, it's going to be hard for him as he's got no line on.
Yeah, but we've got to say, Ryan is definitely going to be happy just to come away with points at the end of this race, considering it's his first race. And Max has made a mistake. Max is off. Max has spun through Spoon.
He's done a Vettel Verstappen, but on his own.
I have absolutely no idea what happened, but Max has gone off at Spoon and has just completely thrown away his win.
Whoever's on Clipton's account said, have I been banned from sending messages? Oh, and the timing glitch happened again. It says Max is known, but it's actually Furham.
Yeah, Fern's still in the lead, so basically Luke is currently on his way to win the race. Will he actually get his first win of the season in the last race?
Yeah, and it'll saying he's not fast enough at F3 instantly wins after that.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to prove me wrong here. Well, he is a quick driver, but he hasn't been the quickest out of them.
Yeah, so obviously he's been consistent.
Yeah, and that's like the key thing in motorsport. But still, Luke is in a really good spot now. His teammates
Why
still
did it say
behind
Max is in P4 now?
I have absolutely no idea. He's
he's
reappeared.
Maybe it was a glitch.
Oh wow, this game is just. Oh wow, yeah. I think it was just like a big lag or something. But you saw it as well, right? I'm not going insane here.
No, you weren't going insane because he didn't get any damage.
No, I think it was just a huge lag. And that's why his AI was driving him back into the track then.
Yeah.
Now I can't trust anything. If someone spins now, I'm not believing
Unless it actually becomes a yellow flag, I will trust it. But now it looks like Max is going to win.
Yeah, well, never mind the past 2 minutes, what we have said.
Yes. So they look for saying you might win.
Oh, maybe we've just predicted the future or something. But Kush is just not able to get back within that 1 second window of Max Rowan.
As Cohen is still slow in the race though. He's getting caught up again. Even with Casizzle, who's on 4 lap old mediums.
Again, look at the amount of ERS he's got. Barely anything.
Not a lot of people, like, Simply's got the most, I think.
Max has got quite a lot as well.
Between him and Max, we're the most ERS to use.
Max is really controlling the race right now. He's doing very well.
I'm a very good ERS saver as well. But I can't save much as these guys.
Yeah, no way. I mean, the the standards of racing in this division, just in terms of pace, is just so good. I mean, I could never compete in this division where the pace those guys are just very, very quick, and I think it's going to be even a further step up when I'm commentating over F3 next season with Jay.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I'm not sure. Remember then that whenever you have to go, just tell me. Yeah, I'm not like trying to trap you.
Obviously, I haven't got invites yet.
I'd be happy if you could stay the entirety of the race, but
yeah, I would love to stay, but obviously I got Canada, and I love Canada, but I haven't got an invite yet.
And Feynman has just gone off, got a pen, and has been passed.
No, I've not got an invite yet, but
okay,
they usually I would probably be able to do it, but I don't know what'll happen if there's a safety car, which would be lovely, but at this moment in time I don't think anyone would want one.
Oh, Jared's in the chat, but let's have a look.
Hello, Jared. Jared, how does it feel being kicked out of Dream Team?
It's getting personal now.
Yeah.
I think it might be actually Kryptonite's mates. Just also disliking it. Look at Simply's trying to get past Ryan. Is it going to be a move down the inside of 130R? Yes, they're going side by side. They've left each other enough room, and they're still side by side coming into the final chicane. But Simply has made the move, and that was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and that puts him up second, and Ryan picked very early for the softs.
Wow, that was... Not much has happened within the last couple of laps, but then suddenly they're going side by side through 130R. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. But now it looks like Max has probably won this race. Unless something happens, but I'm not trusting this game at the moment.
Yeah, same. No, I'm not going to scream this time as soon as something happens, because... yeah, I just can't trust it.
No, I can't trust this game for a bit now after what happened to Max, but unless we see actually someone spin into a wall and have their wheel off, I'll trust it.
There's Boywart now leaving the session after he's retired for quite a couple of laps now.
Says I had a little moment out of Degner too, but he had a little front end go, but it's all okay, so there.
I think Ryan is going to struggle with the tyres towards the end of this race. Doing 12 laps on soft is quite a lot.
Krypton's about to feel what Furhan had with him. He's going to be stuck behind Simon. So, Krypton's going to be in a bit of pain. Says he'll get your pen.
Yep. Now the gaps are starting to get closer in between the net leaders. The two actual leaders, Fern and Simply, pit now for their one and only stop, so they're going to have to do 11 laps on those softs.
Yeah.
Should be possible. Luke gets closer and
see what
closer
Furhan
to
comes out. If a safety car came out, that'd be perfect. But Furhan came out. Oh no! Look where Furhan came out behind, but not as
same
close.
old story. Oh, will he be ahead of Ryan?
Ryan got the undercut back ahead of him.
Yeah, and Simon's in there. Where did Simon come from?
I think after spinning, just went back onto the...
Ah, yeah. That's why he's there. And Lucas just gone into that 1 second window of the car ahead and has just fallen out a bit again.
Yeah.
Will he go back inside it? I'm not sure. Right now he is, but... no, obviously he's got the position on penalties anyway, but it's still a lot... it's a lot more comfortable if you're actually ahead on track as well, because otherwise you could still get a pen and suddenly you are behind the driver. and that's a risk that Luke probably doesn't want to take, and Luke is
Yeah.
probably still willing to take that maiden win of the season. It's still not over. We still got 10 laps when we cross the line.
Obviously, Luke would love that maiden win, but at the moment it just looks like Max is going to take another win. The last time I commented in here, Max won, so maybe I just have the I'm like Max's lucky charm. Every time I comment in this division, he wins.
Yeah, but if you leave and then Max doesn't win, you know that he's that you owe him a big apology.
Yes. I'm a very
like.
big commentator's curse.
Don't worry, Jake. Jake has already cursed some people throughout the entirety of the season.
Oh, I'm bigger. I pretty much say in F9 that someone's gonna win, and then they crash out instantly when I say that.
Yeah, I really try not, give credit to too many drivers because I'm really scared. I'm just cursing them, and then suddenly I have to write an apology.
Yeah, but hopefully, even though I've got my invite now, so I have to leave, but enjoy it.
All right, thank you for joining me. That really helped.
It's been a pleasure, sir.
Now I've got enough.
Obviously your voice isn't gonna go, so.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But have a good night, mate.
All right, you too. Thank you a lot. So now I am on my own for the rest of this race, for the final 10 laps that we've got. 9 laps as soon as we cross the line, and it's still not decided at the front. It's looking more and more like a Max win, but I don't want to jinx anything here, like I said. And Kazisla's getting closer and closer to the back end of Cohen's Alfa Romeo. But the Alfa Romeo guys looking very comfortable to win their Constructors' Championship against Ryan, who's currently down in 11th. But Ryan is doing quite solidly, considering he's doing his first race without a line on. And now with 9 laps remaining in this race, we still have got some fights here on track, at least in terms of the timing. They're very close to each other, but we've seen on the first stint already how difficult it is to pass another driver around this track, and I think we might be able to witness that once again, as Jan seems to be a lot quicker than McCrew at the minute, who seemed to drop off a little bit on his second stint here. I think his soft stint was just that little bit better after he was stuck behind both Alfa Romeos. Now he's going to be challenged by the driver behind. And I'm trying to read the comments now, but I'm a bit confused by them, if I'm honest. But I think that could be a big battle for P6 here if we ignore the penalties, which I usually do because I don't really like it all too much. Just, working with the penalties for the results, then trying to do the maths, what kind of gaps the drivers need and all that. I don't like that all too much. I just like to see full flat out racing. And that's the good thing about a finale. If everything's decided, Diamond is looking like he's not going to take P2 in the championship, but still a really good season for him. Today hasn't been his best race so far this season, but I'm sure he'll still be very happy. Yeah, thank you for still being in the chat. User 1 keeps going. Yeah, but you can see that, especially through the first sector, it's very difficult to stay close to another driver, as Jan is just too much in the dirty air of McCrew, and that really slows his car down in the first sector. Not a nice feeling at all. And Luke is getting closer and closer to the rear end of Kush. Obviously he doesn't need to pass him, but I'm sure he will want to pass him anyway, just to be on the safe side in case he gets a penalty himself, because this is also pretty close, as Ryan picks up his second pen of the race, I think. Yep, he's the first one to get 6 seconds so far. And yeah, Max won't lose it because I'm still watching. Yeah, might be. I hope for Max that it's you'll still be watching towards the end of the race, otherwise something crazy is going to happen, I'm pretty sure. Luke is getting closer and closer, but you can see once again here with Kazizo, he's just not quite able to get close enough to actually go for a move into turn 1 and turn 2. But just because turns 1 and 2 are such quick corners as well, it's so difficult to actually dive down the inside because it's not a heavy braking zone, and it really makes overtaking quite a lot more difficult than it needs to be for the drivers, as Luke picks up the penalty I was talking about, and now he actually needs to make the move on Kush to get his P2 here tonight, and I think he's not going to be happy with that at all. And the stream's now got more likes than dislikes. Oh yeah, it has. Looks like it's your fault, Ross. Looks like it was you all the time. But no, just kidding. And Luke, you can see that he's gone closer now, straight away after he's got the penalty. And I'm pretty sure he would want to get the move done. Both are on equal amounts of ERS. Both are very low on it. Have used up quite a lot of their battery already. And you need that battery charge if you want to go past another driver around here. And he needs to get a really good run through the last sector and then a really good run out of the last corner as well. But he hasn't got it on this lap, and the longer it takes, the more difficult it will get, because then towards the end he will only get one chance. But let's look at Jan. He goes down the inside of McCrew, and McCrew seems to leave the door open, and yes, that was an easy pass. Looks like McCrew didn't really want to fight that because Jan hasn't got a penalty so far, and would have passed him on penalties anyway. Looks like Luke is just able to catch in the second sector again, but it's just too far away to make a move in the third then, and that makes his life very, very hard at the minute. But let's see if he can try and do a bit more than that now. As I'm trying to open up the screen right now. Yes, I am. I'm sorry, I just had to get my phone up to be in the actual chat. To open up the chat again. Now we can see that Luke is still struggling to get past. McCrew is still close to Jan after he's been passed a couple of laps ago, because Izzo still can't get past Cohen either. So drivers are still struggling quite a lot to get past each other, and at the moment that's really making this race a bit dull for the minute, sadly. No, not a lot of overtaking. But it's just the nature of the Japan track. It's a great track for to race on yourself, but in terms of action, Japan isn't the best track you could race on, to be honest. And at the moment, drivers are really struggling to pass each other. But Kryptonite has now gone into the DRS window of the car ahead, and it looks like the opposite strategy for Fairhan, Ryan, and Simply has not worked out at all. They're still very far behind the drivers who did the usual strategy. I think they lost just quite a lot of time. looks like not much is going to happen towards the end of this race. This time Luke is closer. He might be able to make a move on this lap, but he just hasn't got the amount of ERS he needs. Neither is Kush, but he's getting closer and closer. Maybe if he gets a really good run out of the final chicane, he might be able to make a move. And that doesn't look like the worst run, but it looks like Kush has got a pretty good run out of the last corner as well, and that might be enough to stay ahead. And yes, it looks like it is. And yeah, Luke is disabled his overtaking mode, so no chance at all for him to get past here. And I think Kazizl is not even trying to get past Cohen at this point, just because Cohen has got no pins, and due to the fact that he has got no pins, looks like he's even going to take that podium away from his teammate in the final race of the season. Jando is desperately trying to get within that 3-second window of Kazizl ahead, because he has got no penalties, and it looks like at the moment I tell you what, if Cohen is now able to actually pick up the pace, I needed to gain 1.1 seconds, somewhere around there, to win this race. But if Max gets a penalty, obviously, but don't know how many warnings Max has got so far. If I check, he's only got one warning. Okay, so that's yeah, that theory out the window already. Looks like that's not a possibility here. But Luke, once again, he is close, but I don't think he's close enough. He'd need to save his ERS on the penultimate lap now to try and make the move on the last lap. He brakes late, but too late, I reckon. Yep. Or has he braked too late? He's closer than on the previous lap, but he's not even using his overtaking ERS mode, so he might try and save his ERS for one final desperate attempt on the final lap to get past Kush here. But Kush has not got a lot of ERS left either. But maybe if Luke now saves some of his ERS, he might be able to make one last attempt, or one actual attempt, because he hasn't made one so far in this race. And obviously he's got one lap fresher tyres, which might pay out just now, because he is staying very close to the back end of Kush, and Kush has missed the apex once again, and that might give Luke an actual chance of passing Kush for second place very late on in this race. Both of them are probably going to lose the spot to Luke's teammate Cohen here. Anyway, Fern gets a penalty. That doesn't make his life easier. Ryan gets past. No, Ryan is spun out of Deckner too, but he was outside the points anyway, so that doesn't matter all too much. But and that's a big tank slap here for Luke, and that might have just ruined his chance for an overtake on the final lap. He's still pretty close, still within 0.4 of a second, so he might go for a move into turn 1 now, but we'll have to wait and see. He brakes very late. Has he braked too late though? Kush once again with a good exit, and he needs to get a good exit now to stay ahead, but it looks like he's a bit slippery on the rear end. Now Luke is going to use all of his ERS, all of his overtake deployment mode. Is he going to go for a late lunge down the inside? No, he's not. Maybe now into turn 2? Not quite close enough to make a move, and I think that was that little mistake out of Spoon. Kryptonite though has gone past McCrew now, and he would have been ahead of him anyway due to penalties in the end, but still, to be on track, to be ahead on track is just a very nice feeling, and it's a lot more safe than if you just rely on the penalties. Ryan has given up one lap before the end. He could have just gone to the end with one lap to go, to be honest, but he decided not to. And let's see, Luke is still very close to the rear end of Kush. If Kush now makes a mistake, then that could be the chance for Luke to get past, but he needs to make a mistake, otherwise it's game over for Luke here, who has struggled to get past Kush for the last 3 or 4 laps now. And once again, out of Spoon, he makes a little mistake, which is probably enough to keep to not be able to make a move. Yeah, he's definitely too far away to dive it down the inside into the final chicane. And he's on 0% DRS, and so is Kush. But yeah, it's not enough. Simply gets past Fairhunt for the final point. And there goes Max around the final corner. And he wins the final round here in Japan. Kush takes second on track. Luke takes third on track. But Cohen is going to be in second place on penalties then. A great drive from him. He's been very quiet this race, but he has come away. He has come home with a pretty good result in the end. Simply takes the final point of this race. I think Fan might have made a big mistake there. And yes, he has. And he's got a puncture actually. Interesting. Okay, so his softs didn't last till the end of this race, but in the end Luke was just not able to get past Kush to stay on the podium on penalties. But it's still the constructors win for Alfa Romeo, as Ryan didn't score any points and retired. Max though wins the race, ends the season on a high, and yeah, maybe Jake was right. Maybe Max is going to get promoted. I mean, he has shown that he's got the pace to be fighting for the championship, and maybe he's getting promoted. That's definitely a good drive from him today, and a good showing that he has got the potential to race in F3 next season. But there's your final result of the season. Max wins ahead of Cohen, who finishes fourth on track but second on penalties. Kush gets third, stays out of Luke, who was just not able to pass Kush in the end, and Jan picks up fifth with no penalties. Good drive from him as well. Kazizel finishes sixth after starting ninth. Good race from him. Kryptonite seventh. McCrew in eighth. Diamond only ninth. Has to give that second place in the championship to Luke then. And simply finishes in P10 in the end. Picks up the final point of the entire season then. And that is it, everybody. Thank you all for joining in. It was not the most exciting race, if I'm honest. Not many battles on track, but still, the gaps weren't massive. Drivers were pretty close to each other, but it's just the nature of Japan that it's so difficult to, get past each other. And in the end, that's what we've seen here tonight as well. But thank you all for joining in. Thanks to all the drivers that competed in this season in PSGL F4. They've put on a great show for us week in, week out. They've they've been very consistent. The grade was very close, very well done to the admins for those placements. And yeah, also big thank you to Kryptonite, who was the admin of this division. Good job by him as well, managing all that. And in the end, we've had still quite an exciting season, even if the championship was already decided. But yeah, I'd like to thank Jake, who was my co-commentator for the entirety of the season, and replaced me as the main commentator when I wasn't there, or when I couldn't stream due to channel issues. And also big thank you to Ross, who helped me out tonight and helped Jake when I was not there for Singapore. And yeah, that is it then, ladies and gentlemen. Alfa Romeo are the Constructors' champions this season. Obviously, Ryan won the championship last week already. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. And with that being said, goodbye, see you next season, and take care.